Nawe, Amigad kutoka Farmfix Africa Limited, dawa kamili dhidi ya Fall Armyworm.
They came seeking safety, a lifeline in a world torn apart by conflict.
We receive an average of 150 new arrivals on a daily basis.
But a drastic decision has pulled the rug out from under their fragile existence.
The food we have is just for a month.
Reduced food rations, an end to vital cash support. For refugees in Kakuma, donor fatigue isn't just a headline. It's a death sentence. This Sunday, Gatete Njoroge takes us deep inside the refugee camps of Kakuma to witness the harsh reality behind the numbers.
Women's Modal Tees. Only 1,600 shillings each when you buy 2. Only superior shape retention. It holds its shape for longer. The only t-shirt to choose.
Live from Citizen TV, this is Friday Night with Lillian Mooney.
Good evening. Hello there. Many thanks for joining us on Friday night. Tonight, we put a spotlight on the plight of widowed persons in the country. Yes, there are widows, there are widowers, but often widows find themselves in more vulnerable situations, particularly because Kenya's inheritance laws promise to protect widows. However, this is a tall order as many widows still find themselves battling more than just grief, being disinherited and being exposed to harmful cultural practices. We'll be telling you more about that right here on Friday night. But for now, let's take a look at stories making headlines tonight.
We were notified by whistleblowers about an ongoing construction project happening inside the forest. And on finding out and on researching, we found that actually it was a luxurious hotel.
Who is the private investor? Mystery of luxury cottages under construction inside the Ngong Road forest.
The Honourable Member of Parliament is currently facing a charge of false publication and also matters of hate speech.
Mumias East Member of Parliament Peter Salasya arrested in a dramatic car chase in Meru and driven to Nairobi. UON Council Chair Professor Amukoa Anangwe among 5 senior members of the council arraigned over abuse of office. Paving way for investigations, ICC prosecutor Karim Khan steps down temporarily as he faces a sexual misconduct probe. Thanks for joining us. Our sign language interpreter is Wilson Ochuka. A fresh storm is brewing in Nairobi's Ngong Road forest, where a powerful private investor has been allocated 5 acres inside Ngong Road forest to build a luxury hotel targeting AFCON guests for the nearby Talanta Stadium. The Greenbelt movement says the development inside the forest amounts to grabbing without public consultation or an environmental impact assessment. Kenya Forest Service insists it's a temporary eco-camp, but questions are mounting over the legality and secrecy surrounding the project. Willie Lusige reports.
Tucked deep inside the Ngong Road forest, this 5-acre piece of land is at the heart of a new land grab scandal.
It's very prime.
According to the Greenbelt movement, a whistleblower tipped them off about an ongoing luxury hotel project targeting high-end AFCON guests for the nearby Talanta Stadium.
We were notified by whistleblowers about an ongoing construction project happening inside the forest. And on finding out and on researching, we found that actually it was a luxurious hotel as being built.
The hotel features 11 high-end cottages, each reportedly with a private pool or jacuzzi in a public forest.
This project is actually being done so that it can accommodate some of the individuals who will be taking part in the AFCON tournaments. You know, AFCON, the stadium is just next to this forest. So it is a very ideal premise for the individuals who will be coming. The whole project is being protected by some of Kenya Forest Service officers. So if it's a legit project, why does it need a lot of secrecy? Why can't it just be public for all of us to know?
Greenbelt says construction began in secrecy, under tight security, and without any public engagement or approvals from NEMA. The group has written to the Kenya Forest Service demanding answers on who the investor is, how the land was allocated, and why Kenyans were kept in the dark.
Being a public forest, it will really be interesting for us to understand how was this person allowed to build inside a public forest. Was there an impact assessment report done? And on what basis were the people involved and consulted to allow somebody to build inside the forest? The whole project is being protected by some of Kenya Forest Service officers. So if it's a legit project, why does it need a lot of secrecy? Why can't it just be public for all of us to know?
Citizen TV journalists were denied entry by armed forest officers who insisted they had orders from above not to allow media access, while KFS claimed the development is temporary, yet structures on site suggest otherwise.
Nobody will just come out of the blues and invade a whole forest, right? That is somebody who actually has a lot of connections, somebody who will actually easily penetrate into a forest that is protected by Kenya Forest Service and start a construction. That is somebody who is highly protected.
With questions being raised on the legality of the allocation of land to a private developer within Ngong Forest, a bigger concern is on why the government is allowing the construction to continue in secrecy. This comes months after the government revoked permits for a restaurant and golf course in the same Ngong Road forest due to public outcry. Willie Lusige, Citizen TV, Ngong Road Forest in Nairobi.
Away from the Ngong Road forest invasion, Mumias East Member of Parliament Peter Salasya is likely to spend the weekend in police custody after he was arrested in Meru County while on his way from Isiolo town. Salasya is reported to have been arrested by masked armed men who allegedly shot at his car tires, immobilizing it and halting its movement. The MP, who has been traversing the country engaging Kenyans on various issues, is accused of publishing false information and hate speech during his tours. Salasya has denied using his platform to attack the broad-based government, as Gatete Njoroge reports.
Minutes after a successful Meet the People tour in Isiolo town, Mumias East MP Peter Salasya posted on his official X platform that he was under attack by armed men. Shortly after, another message popped up, this time indicating he was under arrest, and the men he claimed were DCI officers were taking him to an unknown location. Through quick intervention by his lawyers, who sought help from DCI headquarters, they were able to establish that the MP was being held at Central Police Station.
The aspect on which he was arrested was not only an excessive use of force by the persons who were under the guise of police powers. These individuals were covered in masks, and indeed they were carrying weapons which can only be held by officers of the law.
Mutiso says the legislator sustained leg injuries during the dramatic arrest as the officers fired at his car tires, immobilizing it.
Due to the excessive force which was used there, he is limping, and that's something that will require some medical attention. But otherwise, I can tell you that he has just faced a bit of some trauma. It's not a small... that whole experience is not something that you can just brush off.
The MP, a vocal critic of the broad-based government.
We must look for a way on how we can create job opportunities within this country.
Has been touring different parts of the country, holding rallies at local markets and bus stops, is now being accused of hate speech. He, however, clarifies that he has not been attacking government during his Meet the People tour.
The Honourable Member of Parliament is currently facing a charge of false publication and also matters of hate speech.
Salasya is expected to spend the night in police custody, even as his lawyers engage police with the hope that the MP will be released on police cash bail, pending his arraignment on Monday. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
The chairperson of the University of Nairobi Council, Professor Amukoa Anangwe, and 3 other senior officials were on Friday arrested by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, and charged with abuse of office. Professor Anangwe and the other council members were arrested over allegations of abuse of office related to the unlawful reappointment of Brian Ouma as acting chief operations officer at the University of Nairobi. As Mary Morki reports, the 4 were later released on bail and barred from accessing their offices as investigations continue.
Professor Amukoa Anangwe was on Friday morning arrested by officers of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission in Kisumu and swiftly airlifted to Nairobi, where he and other council members, including Dr. Ahmed Sheikh Abdullahi and Karen Kerubo Omwenga, were questioned before facing charges at the Anti-Corruption Court in Milimani. The arrests follow accusation of misconduct and abuse of office in the appointment of Brian Ouma as Chief Operating Officer, a process allegedly conducted in defiance of court orders and oversight protocols. EACC boss Abdi Mohamud says the rot at UON is council-driven, accusing its leadership of mismanagement and illegal recruitment.
Been able to arrest the council of the University of Nairobi, including the chairperson and council members, and another one of the key people who we believe is also behind the running down of the institution.
Appearing before Justice C.A. Okore, defense lawyers argued the charges are politically motivated, saying Professor Anangwe was picked up while running errands in Kisumu, despite full cooperation with EACC. They are also challenging the validity of the charge sheet, arguing that a single individual could not pass a resolution on behalf of a 9-member council.
My client was in Kisumu this morning. Why would the government of Kenya invest, use, abuse, or as if he was called to Integrity Center, or as if he was summoned to this court?
One Brian Ouma continued to hold office. That is offense. In the year early April 2024. The council members should be barred from office, from accessing the office.
All 7 suspects were granted bail and barred from accessing their offices.